Every 4 years, the global football conversation settles into a predictable rhythm. We obsess over France's attacking depth, debate whether England can survive a penalty shootout, and track the newest Brazilian prodigies. The hype machine strictly orbits the same few elite teams. Yet there is a massive void in the current 2026 cycle. The nation hosting the tournament remains remarkably absent from any serious discussion regarding the trophy. The United States will sleep in their own time zones, eat their own food, and play in front of hyper-partisan home crowds. Despite these massive logistical advantages, international analysts have largely left them out of the contender conversation. This collective silence stems from a deeply ingrained historical bias. It creates a narrative vacuum that masks the setup for a massive tactical trap. For decades, the global scouting report on the U.S. was simple. They were the team that always ran hard, defended desperately, and relied on athletic willpower to snag the occasional upset. Years of exits to middle-tier roadblocks like Ghana cemented a specific reputation. The U.S. became the feel-good story, with a predetermined ceiling in the round of 16. Relying on that outdated reputation will prove a massive vulnerability for established global powers in 2026. Today's American squad operates as a technically capable unit, moving through the international landscape unseen precisely because their reputation hasn't caught up to their roster. In a major tournament, the greatest structural advantage is being entirely dismissed by the establishment. The old try-hard stereotypes fall apart when you look at the technical reality of this squad. This is the first time the U.S. has entered a cycle with a roster built almost entirely from elite European stock. The attacking core features players like Christian Pulisic, who have spent years competing in the highest tiers of the English and Italian leagues. They operate at the sport's ceiling on a weekly basis. In the center of the pitch, you find world-class engines like Weston McKennie. His role at Juventus proves he can dictate the tempo against the best tactical minds in the world. The program's rising prestige is even allowing them to win recruitment battles against traditional powerhouses. Striker Fuller and Balabin chose the U.S. despite being eligible to represent a powerhouse like France. This group is also exceptionally young. Instead of being weighed down by the fear of failure that haunts older veteran squads, they play with a modern, aggressive fearlessness. Managers expecting a simple, physical American team will instead face a roster of Champions League starters. That gap between the outdated scouting report and the technical reality on the pitch creates a friction that forces tactical errors. The U.S. system exploits friction through a high-intensity press. They actively hunt the ball in the opponent's defensive third. Opponents playing a slow possession game walk directly into this trap. Once won, the U.S. shifts into a rapid counterattack before the defense can reorganize. This tactical setup gains even more power when you consider the new 48-team format. More rounds and more matches mean traveling nations will face unprecedented levels of physical fatigue. While everyone else deals with cross-continental flights and jet lag, the Americans enjoy a familiar environment, zero travel pressure, and entirely partisan crowds. Historical data proves that host nation bump is real. From England in 1966 to South Korea in 2002, playing at home consistently allows teams to drastically overperform their baseline metrics. Combining a high-energy press with fully rested players against exhausted traveling opponents transforms home field advantage into a weaponized structural asset. Success isn't guaranteed. The U.S. still struggles with bench depth, and an injury to a key attacker like Pulisic would drastically lower their ceiling. They also lack mental infrastructure. This squad has never navigated the extreme psychological pressure of a World Cup semifinal or a final. When faced with veteran South American or European giants who know how to cynically kill a game's momentum, the statistical probability still favors the traditional powers. However, being viewed as a probable failure provides exactly the narrative cover this team needs to survive the chaotic early knockout rounds unseen. We saw the power of being ignored in 2022. Morocco used a stubborn tactical system and the element of surprise to reach the semifinals while the rest of the world looked the other way. While the media remains focused on the traditional favorites, the United States is quietly preparing to leverage the chaos of an expanded, unfamiliar tournament. The pieces, Talent, tactics, and the home field multiplier are now in place. When the giants start falling, the only real mystery is why more people didn't see it coming.